My feet hit the floor as I awake from the night before. I rub my eyes as I stagger to the door of my bathroom, and soon I am met with my reflection in the mirror. You see, they're supposed to make things clearer, but some days I gaze and there's this thick, murky haze, and in ways it depicts the fogginess of my mind. You see, most times I'd prefer to just glance in the mirror, make sure everything's in place and there's nothing weird on my face and start my day, but I'm gonna dare to say that most of us are scared to stare. To take a moment and stare, looking beyond what our eyes can see and into the souls of our being. You see, we're scared of what we become. We know that our lives can't be undone and that time can't reverse itself in a toxic fashion. So, like a hero in action, we put our mask back on, Bruce Wayne. Many agonizing dark nights as we try to cover up the shame. But believe me here as I say, that as I walk away from my reflection, I can unknowingly choose a replacement name that leads me in the wrong direction. And my confession is that most days I abandon my true identity and exchange it with the enemy. And it's like venom in me. The lies are spreading through my veins. It withers my bones away. It destroys me quickly. And I'm so terrified of what my next breath may bring me. And that leads me to fear. Oh, fear, you are so engulfing. When you become my name, I shrink back. Oh, fear, you are so insulting to the God who created us to live with fiery passion, who freed us up to love deeply in word, deed, and action. But I sit back and place these shackles around my wrists, subject myself to slavery. Man, this isn't who I was made to be. But I'm feeling paralyzed, and this isn't dramatized. But I realize that this fear of mine is a disguise, and I despise that it keeps me from loving at all. But I resolved to never be hurt again, so I'll build these walls around my heart to keep anyone from getting in. And the sun has again risen on another morning, and without any warning, I'm looking defeat in the eye. And when he wins, he only points out the failures of you and I. And he casts my vision down so I can give you distinct details of the very ground that I'm walking on. But I keep walking on. In every corner I turn is another loss to record. I'm choosing defeat before there's even a final score to record. So just throw an L up on my forehead like Squints from the Sandlot said. 'Cause my losses are stacking up like the Cubs at Wrigley. Can't seem to get a W here in this windy city. And I can't even get a second glance from my enemy named Victory. It all seems so contradictory. God, you're supposed to be a friend to me. My ground is so slippery. I'm believing Satan's trickery. Lord, I need you to give me victory or put me out of my misery now. Now some days my name is also victim, feeling fooled, mistreated, and cheated. Is everyone out to get me? Is there a target on my back? I need a security breach to lessen the traffic so I can relax 'cause I feel attacked. And every glance I get from another is an assumption that their purpose is to cause me to suffer. But what a selfish thought to think that the world would single out me, that I'd be the point of their assault. That's just a victim way of thinking, but I shift the fault from one person to another. I refuse to own my stuff. I'm focused on the sins of all the others, and then I brilliantly shift the responsibility, and I'll fight to find ways to justify the sin of me. I become an object of martyrdom and pity. Everybody wants to harm me. Everybody's out to get me. But God. See, what a beautiful phrase that's hidden in the scriptures. It paints a picture of rebirth taken from depravity to worth. So let me go back and reclaim what is lost. Christ has paid the cost to give me a new identity when mine was lost. You see, what's defined me through life are circumstances and people. The lack of guidance growing up. I had no support emotionally. I had no idea who I was, only who I was supposed to be. I've been labeled and mistreated by boyfriends, enslaved to an eating disorder for 10 years. That thing was my best friend. A victim of violation and abuse, and though I'm still dealing with the shame, God has refined me so much through it, and as he removes the stains, I change. But listen, don't feel sorry, 'cause this is part of my story, and the life I have, it's different than yours, but the purpose is the same, to bring him glory. So I'll embrace the hand I've been dealt, and I'll walk through the valley, because I know the dealer, Jesus, and he never deals badly. You see, my life hasn't gotten easier since I've given my heart to Christ, and my wounds are not washed away and healed overnight, but now I fight to live in hope and not the circumstance, and I'll choose to believe even when I can't understand. So even though every day I still fight the shame, God's truth remains the same. And if and now in Christ I abide, then I can tell condemnation bye-bye. And even though I still battle fear dictating each step, I have to trust that my next breath is supplied by the King, bury my head in his chest and find rest in the God who redeems. And even though I still feel like a victim and it causes my defenses to rise and my anger to spike, I have to lie my malicious heart down and see the big picture of my life. You see, Christ came to set these wicked hearts free, to give new names to you and me. And like Albert Pujols, I've traded teams arm in arm with the angels with different aspirations and dreams. And you see, this team that I've been traded to was run by the King. No LeBron, I'm talking Jesus, the one to whom rocks will sing. And you see, Jesus, he's the chain breaker. He's a lifesaver. He's the same yesterday, today, and forever, so he never wavers. He's a rock. He stands tall. He pardons the iniquities of his sons and daughters. And on the cross, he got slaughtered when we rejected his name, but he rose with all power. He didn't stay in the grave. And that's why our identity is no longer a slave. He truly saved us and forgave. And though sin we sometimes sometimes crave, he fully paid the penalty and displayed a victory that says sin no longer has ownership of you and me. So I'll shout it from the rooftops that my name is now daughter, and if you don't hear me the first time, I'll say it a little louder, that I'm a misfit in this world, I don't fit in any longer. God has adopted me, and I can now call him Abba, Father. So in the morning, in the mirror, I'll stare again, but this time today, I'm choosing not to pretend. No more covering up what is real, spending all my time just to conceal. No more living incognito. Today, my identity is revealed.